I forgot my wallet at home, sir. I promised to come back and pay.
This is not a shelter. No money, no food. Get out now!
The screen flickers to life. We're staring into a sink overflowing with a mountain of porcelain and steel. Bubbles tremble under the relentless pressure of running water. Steam rises in thick, humid clouds, fogging the lens until, through the haze, he comes into focus. Malik Carter. 17 years old, but his eyes carry the weight of a man 3 times his age. They aren't tired in a lazy way. They are tired in the way of someone who has learned early that no one is coming to save him. The dim kitchen lights catch the sheen of sweat across his deep brown skin as he scrubs another plate clean. His arms ache with a dull, throbbing rhythm. His fingers are wrinkled and raw from hours submerged in near-boiling water. The clock above the prep station reads 9:42 p.m. Malik is earning $8 an hour with trawlers. Most kids his age are home right now, buried in their phones, laughing at memes, or sleeping in air-conditioned rooms. Malik is here, mentally calculating every minute in dollars and cents. $8 is a gallon of milk and a bus pass. 2 more hours is a portion of his grandmother's medication. He is fighting for every bill, every meal, every shred of dignity. He turns slightly and we notice a tray sitting on the stained stainless steel counter. A burger, a small pile of lukewarm fries, his dinner. It's the only food he's had since a meager bowl of cereal before sunrise. He wipes his hands on a rag, eyes lingering on the tray longer than he wants to admit. Hunger isn't just in his stomach, it's in his bones. It's a gnawing reminder of the gap between the life he wants and the life he has. The bell above the diner door jingles, a sharp, annoying sound that cuts through the hum of the kitchen. Malik freezes. He was seconds away from his first bite. 2 figures step inside, an elderly couple, soaked to the bone. The rain outside is a deluge, and it clings to them like a second skin. The woman's silver hair is plastered to her cheeks. The man's suit, high quality but ancient, hangs heavy and sodden on his frame. They don't look like customers. They look like survivors of a shipwreck. They sit in booth 7, moving slowly like people who have run out of options and breath. Then comes the rage. Coach Ron, the owner, storms out of the back office. Ron is built like a linebacker who went to seed, his voice a gravelly thunder that lacks any hint of empathy. "You ordering?" Ron barks, not even offering a menu. "Or are you just planning on tracking the entire Atlantic Ocean across my floor? I just had that mopped." The man looks up. His eyes are sharp, observant, and oddly calm. "Our car broke down a block away, sir," he explains. "We were hoping to sit for a moment, catch our breath, maybe have some coffee while we wait for the tow truck." Ron scoffs, crossing his beefy arms. "Coffee costs money. Heat costs money. This isn't a library and I don't run a shelter. If you aren't buying dinner, you're trespassing." The woman's hands tremble as she opens a leather portfolio. I thought I had my wallet, Harold. I must have left it in the glove box." Ron rolls his eyes, a gesture of pure, unadulterated disrespect. "Classic. Look, I've heard every story in the book. No wallet, no service. That's the law of the land." He turns his head toward the kitchen. "Malik, get out here with the mop. Clean up the mess these guests made. We're not flooding tonight just because people can't maintain their vehicles." Malik walks out, mop in one hand, his tray in the other. He looks at Ron. Then he looks at the couple. In this moment, Malik's mind is a battlefield. He thinks about the 3-mile walk he has ahead of him in that same freezing rain. He thinks about his stomach, which feels like it's folding in on itself. That burger is his fuel. Without it, he might not make it home. But then he looks at the woman. She isn't crying. She isn't making a scene. She just looks diminished, embarrassed. It's the look of someone who has spent their whole life being someone, only to be treated like no one by a man with a mop and a bad attitude. Malik realizes something. Ron thinks he owns the diner, but Malik owns his soul. "Ron," Malik says, his voice steady, "put their meal on my tab." The diner goes deathly still. Ron turns, his face reddening. "Your tab? Malik, you can barely afford the bus. You skip lunch 3 times a week just to save for tuition." "I know," Malik says. "Feed them. Give them whatever they want. I'm not hungry anymore." Ron shakes his head, a patronizing smirk on his face. "You're a fool, kid. A good kid, but a fool. You'll be washing dishes until you're 50 if you keep giving away your leverage." Malik doesn't blink. He simply slides his tray onto their table. "It's not much," he says softly to the couple, But it's hot. Please, take it. The man, Harold, doesn't touch the burger. He studies Malik. He isn't looking at a dishwasher anymore. He's looking at a rare specimen. You'd give this up, Harold asks, his voice resonating with a sudden authority, knowing you'll go to bed hungry? My grandma says character is what you do when no one's keeping score, Malik replies. I'll be fine. I've been hungry before. Harold nods. He turns to the woman who pulls a folder from her portfolio, not a wallet, but a gold-embossed dossier. Ron's eyes widen. What is that? Are you lawyers? I told you I have a right to refuse service. Be quiet, Ronald, Harold says. The tone is so sharp it practically cuts the air. Harold stands up, and suddenly he seems to tower over the room. My name is Harold Whitmore. I'm the chairman of the Eastbrook Community Development Initiative. Ron's jaw drops. His face goes from red to a sickly, pale gray. The Eastbrook Initiative is the $200 million project deciding which local businesses get grants and which ones get leveled for new high-rises. We've been visiting every shop in this district, Harold continues, his voice like a gavel. We don't look at the tax returns first. We look at the heart. We wanted to see how you treat the invisible people. You, Ronald, treated us like trash because you thought we had nothing to offer you. You failed the only test that mattered. Harold turns to Malik. He reaches into the folder and pulls out a heavy, cream-colored card. This is a direct line to my office, Harold says. This young man isn't just a dishwasher. He is exactly the kind of leader this neighborhood needs. Malik, this is a full-ride scholarship, tuition, housing, books, and a guaranteed executive internship at my firm starting Monday. We need people who know the value of a meal and the value of a person. Malik's breath hitches. The room spins. $8 an hour just became $1 million future. Ron tries to scramble. Mr. Whitmore, wait, I was just stressed. The rain. Malik, tell him. I'm a good guy, right? I gave you the job. Malik doesn't look at Ron. He doesn't need to. He looks at the card, then at the couple. Thank you, he whispers. He picks up his backpack. He leaves the mop leaning against Ron's chest, a silent passing of the torch. As Malik steps out into the rain, the cold doesn't feel the same. The water doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like a baptism. He isn't a dishwasher anymore. He is a man who just bought his freedom with a single burger. Have you ever witnessed a moment where character finally outran circumstance? This has been The Other Side of Silence, Toss Stories, where real voices rise and truth finds its echo. Like, subscribe, because the loudest silence always comes before the storm of justice. And no small-minded authority gets to define your worth. You demonstrate it.